God. What's up, world? It is Sunday night, 8:30 p.m. Do you know where your POGs are? We are here and we are live and we are in full effect. And oh my God, do we have a show for you today? Once again, it's your boy KJ Bradley and the world's greatest chaplain, Mr. Chaplain Lance O'Neill, free, liberated, and a little less stressed out. Back this week. I thought going into the week, I had plans for us to talk about a bunch of great stuff. However, something happened over the last 24, 48 hours that kind of kicked everything that we had planned to the curb. I can't quite put my finger on what happened, though. That's the weird thing about it. Do you know what happened?
Yeah, there was either an assassination attempt or the greatest WWE fake out in the history of the world. One of the K-Bobby, as I believe, K-Babe, I'm not sure how you say it.
K-Fabe.
K-Fabe. One of the two. I personally think it was the first. I think it was an assassination attempt, and I think that is going to be clearly done, and we'll get into this. Actually, let's leave it right there because we're going to get into it. So,
oh boy, yes, we are. So,
but KJ, why are you wearing a hat like that?
So, I'm glad you asked. So, I know oftentimes I kind of get into my tinfoil hat rant. So, I figured today will be the day that I debut the official KJ Bradley 2 POGs tinfoil hat. As you can see, it has my favorite slogan on there: "I am my brother's keeper." On top with the logo 2 POGs, and on the side, you can see "Trust but verify" in all things we do, and I got it on both sides. And then if you look in the back, it says "Believe nothing, not even us." Do your own research, man. All we're here is a vessel. You can agree with us, you can disagree with us. Lord knows the comment section has had a bunch of both all week, which we are eternally grateful. Thank you. Some of you guys are a little rougher than I anticipated, but you know what though? It's all good, man. I
think that's what we were going to start with was the comment sections.
We had a whole plan to kind of go over the comments or whatever, man. And yeah, either way, man, we do not have banners up. It has been a rough week. We cannot start with we can't start with our final thoughts. So we are going to start with
initial thoughts. Initial thoughts.
Let's see. Oh, I got a good one. Here we go. Shots fired. Since that is the name of the episode. So we're gonna throw that banner up. I am going to share my screen because I was unable to upload this video, and we'll rock from there. So let's watch the video. Let's talk about it. Give our initial thoughts, and then we'll kind of go into the left and right. Set the limits of all things crazy. Here we go. Let's see. Present. How we working this? I want to share my screen. Let's see if we can make this thing work, man. Not that one. That one. That's the one I want. Boom. There we go. Let's check it out. Oh, pressing the wrong button. I got to press it over here.
And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened. me get my shoes. Hold on, you're ready. So we gotta move to what's up?
There's the hand raise. Throw the iconic fist up. You got to give him. There it is. Oh, that's my moment right there. That's my moment right there.
Oh yeah, iconic. That is going to be in history books in 50 years.
Oh yeah, that is definitely something special. So we're gonna finish
I
this
cannot
out.
log in.
Walk into the car. It's all right. We're gonna finish
Yeah,
getting him.
it's okay.
We're gonna let this be a freestyle episode anyway, man. It is one of them things. A couple of things I noticed, and I'm glad I was able to find a video of somebody picking it out. Right here. Oh, it didn't go. So I want you to pay close attention to this fella right here. Right? I'm gonna run
Which
it back.
one?
This fella back here, this officer back here in tactical gear. I'm gonna run it back, see if we can see it. And then we're gonna
The one with the gun straight up?
Yep, we're gonna talk about it here in a sec.
Okay.
He's on his radio. He's getting a command. He's getting something in his ear, right?
Right.
All right.
And you know, that's
now,
a little bit old,
right.
that chart.
So,
that chart's a couple of months.
Let me stop that. We're gonna go back to that. So you want to talk about the initial thoughts, or you want to go right into it and then do the whole thing?
So, okay. I look at this pretty straightforward as assassination attempt. I've seen the conspiracy stuff. I've seen the post from the alleged that was allegedly posted by the Secret Service sniper that we probably all seen now, who is up on the roof behind former President Trump, claiming to be him. Now we can go through all of them. We can go that. We can go through how did the kid get on the roof? How did he get through Secret Service? How did the reaction of the Secret Service? All of it. I don't know if we want to go into that much detail on all of it, but let's break it down. Okay. Do you want to start with the conspiracy theory about the sniper?
Nope. This is where I want to go. So
okay, and by the way, so just so you guys know, KJ is the one with the tin hat on. All right. So if we're talking about the potential conspiracies, I think I'll speak for KJ here simply because he will let me, and if I'm wrong, he will correct me. He's not saying a conspiracy is afoot. He's saying anything's possible, and that's a very different. And you could say splitting hairs, but I think there is some value in trying to look at things from all angles, especially considering over the past 5 or 6 years, we've learned that when somebody screams conspiracy theory, what it really means is give it 6 months to a year and we'll find out that it was true.
Yep. So,
okay. KJ, go.
Glad that was a great lead in, because that is absolutely right. It's no secret that I am not a fan of either candidate in this election cycle. I think they are far from the best our country can do. However, I do not condone any type of violence toward any political figure at all. With that being said, I think President Trump was, and always has been a willful idiot for the powers that be to control him, just as Biden was. Biden was and is. We knew back in 2020 that he was too old to run. However, what Biden was easily manipulative and easy to control.
And hidden. And his shortcomings were easily hidden by a complicit media that had no intent of being truthful about his state of mind. They just wanted everybody to know Orange Man bad.
Yep. So with that being said, I do not think President Donald J. Trump planned this as some kind of way to gain sympathy votes or anything like that. What I do firmly believe, and I am entrenched in believing, even after seeing more evidence is that somebody wanted to send a message, and that message was received loud and clear. And then as we go into it, I'll plead my case, and we'll kind of talk about it back and forth. But one thing I know, and you and I both know, professionals and people in our profession who are trained to do that don't miss, especially at 135 yards.
Well, now hold on. Okay, if we're going to start with that one, and let me say one thing about what you just said, because you told me what you thought about this. The message that was sent was to both President Trump and to President Biden, which was basically the New World, whatever you want to call it, the cabal, the New World Order, the Brandenburg. I think I'm saying that right. I may be off the top of my head. I was going to say Breckenridge, and I knew that was like Brandenburg. But that you will get in line, and if you're not in line, okay, what just popped up right there? Planned by somebody, if not Trump. Well, of course it was planned by somebody. It was planned by at least the shooter. But I want to start with, I responded to somebody on Twitter about this, saying, how do you miss from 140 yards? And he was saying, like, legitimately, I don't get how somebody can miss from 140 yards. It's not that hard. And the reason I say that is, KJ, you've got almost 17, 18 years Army. I've got 24 years Army. We have been to countless ranges. We've seen countless soldiers shoot countless rounds downrange at pop-ups after being trained on how to shoot, knowing what is coming. When you're on a firing range, a military firing range, you have 25 meter, 50 meter, 100 meter, 150 meter, 200, 250, 300. Okay, so I've seen many, and most people, I think, that go to the range actually believe the easiest is the 50 meter, because
on the right,
it comes up, it stays up for a second, you have time to adjust. 150, lots of people in a set position where they know it's coming. They've been training for weeks on this. They've gone through it. I don't care if you're on your 20th time on a range. There are people who miss 150 and will miss 150. So there you go. First one is, it's tough to hit 150 even if you're trained. Second, 150 after being on a heightened sense of, oh shit, am I going to get caught? Okay. Now you've somehow gone on the roof. I don't know if he climbed a ladder.
We got to take that in sections. Take this in sections. Slow.
Okay.
Before we get into all of that, let's go back to the guy on the rifle before we forget it, right? So I showed you the guy on the rifle. The last thing we saw was him going to his earpiece, hearing the message, right?
Where Trump is already going inside after he's been shot. The cop seems to get some type of order through his earpiece. And check this out.
Watch where this weapon points.
He fucking points the gun. It seems to point the gun inside the SUV. Yo, can someone explain that?
Now, Now, I know, I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed, but weapon orientation, you learn real early in the game, right? So what I saw, strictly for me with my tinfoil hat, is I saw him get a message saying, hey, finish the job. He gets ready to start executing, and then he pulls it back after he heard the message. Now, this is where you're going to come in and say, oh, you're absolutely wrong, right?
Tell me again, you think the message, I want to be real clear. You're guessing, but your guess is the message that he heard was finish the job.
Yes, and I'll tell you why.
Tinfoil, got it.
And I'll tell you why. Like, it might seem like a small piece of the puzzle right now, but as we start putting the dots together in this thing, it'll make more sense. All I'm trying to say is there is reasonable belief. There's more than just a fleeting belief that somebody was trying to take this guy out. I don't know who. I don't care who. But I'm sure the message was received.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. So this guy, he's in the agency, right? They are escorting the president away from the danger zone.
Oh, maybe. Hold on. The guy in full battle rattle.
Yep.
isn't necessarily Secret Service. He
Fair
could have
enough.
been local. He could have been National Guard. He could have been, police, militarized police. So we don't know he was
Absolutely.
Secret Service.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's Secret Service.
Okay.
What I'm saying is he is a part of a security force of some sort.
Detail, sure.
Is that fair enough?
Sure.
Okay. So weapon orientation. I cannot, and I tried. That's why I was extremely quiet throughout the last day or two. I tried to come up with reasons why he would go into an offensive stance at that moment in time, aimed directly at the president's vehicle.
I can tell you exactly why.
Why?
Watching that video, here's what you're just saying. Give me a possibility of what he did, right?
Yep.
Hey, everybody in front of the vehicle, do a quick sweep of your area. Make sure there's not a potential second shooter that is out of sight when he comes around that we're going to see. We don't know if there's a second shooter. At this point, all they know is one guy is shot.
Oh.
To me, I'm sorry, I didn't see an aim. Like he didn't come up.
Hold on. We got to go back and look at it.
Yeah, please.
To the right, the one with the rifle.
I'm watching.
That's the presidential limo. Where
He
Trump
looks over
is
to the
already
right.
Going inside after he's been shot. The cop seems to get some type of order through his earpiece.
Steps forward. Turns and looks to his right. He is not aiming at the vehicle. He is aiming to the right of the vehicle. That is not at the driver's side. He's a good to aim for that. For him to aim at the vehicle. Okay, if that's straight on at 0 degrees, he's at a good 45 degrees away from at least how I'm looking at it. And I'm not trying to be out devil's. I'm telling you what I see.
That's fine. So you're saying that he's off to the right, right?
It sure looks like it to me, because he looks like he's about 10 feet away, if that. Maybe just because we can't see exact lines. He does not look more than 10 feet away from the front of the vehicle. He looks like he's probably just about dead center in the front of the vehicle. And how he's looking and aiming, there's no gun sight. There's no look, there's no aim. He's still using both eyes. To me, looking at that, he is actively scanning using both eyes. Are there any threats to my right, which is my zone?
That is definitely a way. All right, cool.
And again, I don't know. I don't know, but just seeing that's what I see.
We got plenty of time. All right.
Okay.
Cool. We see that. We say, okay, cool. Boom. All right.
Okay.
That makes sense. Where are we going next?
KJ, let me ask you this about that though. Hold on real quick. Let's say you're right. Let's say the message was, hey, 01, target missed, complete the mission, right?
Yep.
Then why didn't he? What stops him at that point from taking 2 steps, from coming from here? He sees them coming, he hears that, and he goes, okay, and he has to move. Now, he would have to move.
Right.
He would have to move to his left, not looking right. He'd have to move to his left. But why not? At that point, he knows if he's pulling that gun down, he's dead too.
But
he knows it.
But you see him go back to his earpiece before he pulls the gun down. So he comes up, and I'll show you. So there's a difference between scanning at the low ready, perceiving the thought, and then coming into an offensive fire position, right? So when you're in this position, you're ready. You're ready to pop at any moment. At this time, the shooter had already been announced and been taken down. So the initial scan was already done.
The initial shooter. What is everybody trained? What is every anti?
Almost 3 minutes after they.
Hold on. No. Hold on. That shot right there. Shots go off. Right. Mm-hmm. He gets up. He does his fight. They take him off. This is somewhere around 60 to 90 seconds from the initial shot, correct?
No. You talking about the video with the guy at the vehicle?
Yeah.
No.
Trump's getting in the video.
Yeah,
Trump's getting in the vehicle right there.
They waited on him for 2 hours to clear him. Not 2 hours, 2 minutes to clear him. They didn't move him until 3 minutes.
The entire video from the time the first shot is fired till he gets in and they cut the TV is like, okay, we're not going to keep watching any more of this, is no more than 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Right.
Now you have a little bit of time before that. So not a lot, 15 seconds. So now you're down to about 2:15, right? He's tackled. Yeah. Okay. He doesn't come up for almost 30 seconds. So now you're 90 seconds from the time he gets up to in the vehicle and the video stops. So, but you're talking somewhere in about 90 seconds from the time they start moving him off the stage to where we just see soldier coming to the ready, right? Somewhere around 90 seconds. Every anti-terrorism person in the world at this point always says the first guy is not always the main guy. In fact, the first guy is generally the distraction. We're going to set off the bomb over here, and we're going to try to just injure people so that when all the ambulances and everybody comes over, we're going to have the bomb go off somewhere about 300 meters out, because everybody knows you stay 300 meters out because of the radio signals. Everybody knows this, right? So if all the anti-terrorism guys, so if you're looking, you say, okay, we have a guy moving. Hey, make sure there's not a second shooter in your area. Be especially aware until he gets out of the area. We're in holy crap mode, right? Okay. Well, I better be actively ready, because if second guy pops up, that literal half a second from here to here could be the difference between saving the life of the president or other people. So I'm coming here. Hey, scan your area. Be ready for a second shooter. Look for a second shooter. What am I doing? I'm coming up, being ready, and I'm both eyes up. Okay, there's nothing in my area. Okay. And my area is clear. You probably have everybody checking, everybody in his team. There's probably 4 to 8 guys on his team. Hey, give me a check off. And they're going through A3 clear. All right. A zone is clear. I don't see it. I could be wrong. I've told you this over the last 2 days. If I'm wrong, I'll be happy to eat crow. But 2, if I'm wrong, we're not going to find out about it.
Oh, of course not. Either way, this is long gone. All right, so we'll move on to the next piece of the puzzle. So we got to go back, and I got a couple of I wish these videos would have came out a lot better. So I'm gonna play a couple, and then we'll kind of piece them all together from there. So let's see if I can get this to work right. So go with this guy.
Going up the roof of the building beside us. We noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So we have a guy saying that, hey, we saw this dude. It wasn't a secret. We knew this guy was climbing. Everybody could see this guy climbing with the weapon. Nobody did nothing. So
yeah,
you know how I feel about security protocols and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be the most egregious lapse in security in the history of professional protection, or this was planned and coordinated.
Yeah.
I can't come up with any other way to shape that, right? Even if we say, oh well, that's not how the country works, the Second Amendment, and you're able to carry weapons, you're absolutely right? But Security 101 tells me that if I have a perceived threat toward my protected asset, it would behoove me to take care of it, because I'd rather be safe than sorry. Because how hard is it for me to say,
Sure.
hey man, climbing up on the roof with a weapon is probably not a good idea with the president speaking, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure.
I don't know what the lapse was at. I don't know what happened there. I just know that
I will give you a possibility lapse. This is what I think. And I know you're going to kind of shake your head at this because Secret Service are the best of the best, and they've got multiple layers of protection between the Secret Service and the local police and coordination, all that stuff. Okay. To me, Occam's razor, and if you don't know what Occam's razor is, it means if you have multiple possibilities, the most simple explanation is usually the right one. To me, Occam's razor is you had people that are bad at their jobs, and you don't need that many people to really, in this situation, I don't think you need that many people to drop the ball. Here's why. I think the average cop, the average Secret Service guy, probably, it depends on what they think about Trump, okay? And this is part of it, right? What they think about Trump and about MAGA, okay? Another part of it. There's another variable, which is, man, I'm only here to get some overtime. Hey, there's a guy with a gun. Where? What? Okay. So being dismissed by the people on the ground does not necessarily surprise me to a huge degree. And I'm building up to something here. So don't think that that's it. Second, you would think that, at least my first thought when I saw this, was you've got snipers on the building that we clearly saw behind Trump at his, I guess, 5 o'clock, who was scanning towards the only other high area that seemed to be available, right?
90 degrees away from the where the shooter actually shot from.
Yeah, that sniper, the dude who took him out, that's an easy shot for him. That sniper who killed the assassin, that is a dime shot. He put it wherever he wanted. Okay. So that guy, and we'll get to him in a second, just the conspiracy part. But could the shooter have gotten up closer because of the incline and really kind of popped up right at the end? Possible. Because from what I understand, sniper and over here was where Trump was, and up here. So he climbed up a little bit of it, so they could potentially see him from a different angle,
right?
And see, hey, why is that guy up there? Look, hey, there's a guy up there, without the sniper seeing it. Okay. Now, if you say, my first question with that was, why would you have a sniper on that building behind Trump, but not on the only other high building in the area? Now, to me, that could be incompetence in planning. Possible. Okay. Simplest explanation is that's what it is. And they went through and they said, oh no, there's nobody here. We went and we cleared the buildings. We had the dogs go through around the outside, and the building's been locked and nobody can get in. Okay. We all know it's not that hard to get into locked buildings if you really want to get into a locked building. Okay.
I'm gonna pull Go ahead.
There are ways. Okay. So he gets up, he climbs up, he moves forward. How did he miss from 140 yards? Again, simple. He may not have, okay, there's about the sniper coming back. And I think this one's important. because the kid the assassin, and we're not using his name on purpose. We don't want him to get any press. The assassin, attempted assassin, climbs up, has to set up his weapon quickly, because if he is spotted and shot, then whatever. So his adrenaline is as high as it can be. The first 2 to 3 shots, in my opinion, were aimed the best he could, and then he just pulled the trigger 5 more times. Then you hear the higher crack where he gets hit.
Where he got popped.
Where he got popped, where the good guys take out the bad guy, right? Okay, so now the question is, in the video, and you can see the picture right there, the question is, well, this guy is on the roof. He's looking through his scope. He looks up with both eyes when the shooting starts. He immediately goes back to his scope, gets his shot off, kills the assassin. Okay.
Yep.
Couple things. One, we both know if you're looking through a scope like that, that's probably at least that's probably somewhere between a 20 and 100 magnifying. It severely reduces your line of sight. Now, we all know good shooters, and he's trained, use both eyes, but he's looking through one eye for whatever reason, because then he pops up with both eyes. Hey, did I see what I think I just saw? Pop, pop, pop. Oh, crap. And then he goes back down. Now, here's the claim. The claim from this, and I do not believe this is the writer. The writer of this was the sniper. Because I'm military. You're former military. There are a lot of rules of what you can post and what you can't post online.
So he was
I do not.
This dude was fired. I don't know if this is him or not, but I did go back and look. Jonathan Willis was fired.
When? Last night?
Like literally the same day that happened. Like they were relieved of their duty the same night.
Well, relieved of duty because you're involved in a shooting is standard protocol for local all the way up through. No. You have to go through your debrief.
Suspended is protocol. He was relieved. He was let go. His services were tendered.
Interesting. I'd like to see, and possibly, I don't know. I'll tell you what, if I was him though, the first thing I'd be doing is getting a lawyer and filing for whistleblower status.
Maybe
that dude is I'd be real worried right now that dude is going to be suicided, if you know what I mean, if that's true. Okay. So let's say he's right. Let's say that is all legitimate, that he saw the assassin. He said, there is somebody up here with a gun, permission to engage. And the guy on the other side said, give it a minute. Like, hold on, right? The reason I believe that is distinctly possible is because we are at a place in this country that if you do your job to the best of your ability, but it turns out you're wrong, you get fired. You can follow everything correct. You could do everything right. You could be suspended and react to an emergency situation as a soldier, and they will come back and say, how dare you react to that emergency situation? You were suspended. So,
local policemen every day prove that is not true. They fire without prejudice, and it's not a race thing. They shoot citizens without prejudice, and they are
did you okay
with it.
You read the article I sent you about Oakland Police Force, right? Yeah. Oakland Police Force has stopped policing for all intents and purposes because they're so worried that if they do their job, they're going to get fired. Now, is that true of everybody? No. There are certain areas, there are certain locales that it probably is much more like, hey, shoot first and ask questions later. I don't doubt that. The federal government at that level is not that location.
Did you do background on that? Did you do background on that? So the Oakland Police Squad is one of the most corrupt organizations historically for the last 30 years.
Oh yeah, the Oakland mayor.
only to be outdone by the Los Angeles Police Department.
LA.
So what they had is So what they had is a police chief who came in and tried to crack down and say, hey, look, man, y'all not just gonna be out there robbing and shooting people. We're the good guys. And a lot of the cops on the beat was like, no, if we can't get down how we get down, we quit. So so their force shrank dramatically, and the guys who stayed on is like, look, we don't have no people, we can't do our job. So there's a lot of like when we say stuff like that, there's a lot of stuff, like you gotta go back and you gotta dig into the weeds, because on the surface it just looks like, oh well, we don't have no people and we're not policing, when in actuality,
well, of course. Well, and then and of course you add on with Oakland cutting $600 million off their budget for policing and et cetera. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So
what I'm saying though is, in the federal government, it has been like this, and it's been getting worse since I joined the military in 2000. It has got progressively worse in the military and in the federal government, that the first reaction of leaders, of decision makers, is CYA. If I make the wrong call, am I going to get in trouble? And I'm not going to put my career on the line for something that I really don't. I'm not there. I don't. This isn't mine. What, if this isn't clear cut, I'm not sure. Let me check. You know what? In fact, let me check with legal before I make this decision. Okay. So
we got to get back.
So okay. So all I'm saying is, do I believe that if this guy is telling the truth, do I believe that there is a reason other than the nefarious, hey, you better not shoot him, because this dude is about to assassinate Donald Trump, so hold on, don't take that shot? Is it possible? Sure. And that guy, I think you'd have to go into his fine and all the way. And here's the thing, again, let's say that's true. Well, I think we just found our second suicided person.
Well, quite a few people. All right, let's jump into it a couple of times. So we saw that dude. So he was on the opposite side, down by the shooter. Here's a video of a guy who was being in the direction of the bullets. I wanted to hear his comments, and then we'll come back, and then we'll kind of get into some more stuff. Let's just check it out.
Attempt before this guy goes away, or before this clip goes away, or before this information goes away.
I was in the set of bleachers, the very far left of the podium, where Donald Trump was.
Very far left of the podium.
Was there with friends. I heard several gunshots. The man beside me.
His left, not Trump's. Trump's right.
He was. Trump right on the shooting side, the ear side,
closer to the shooter.
Yep.
Hold on. So this guy was sitting right next to you.
The man beside me suffered a gunshot wound to the head. Was instantly killed. I knew it was gunshots right away. My friend, he hit the deck. I was kind of looking around, just trying to see where the shots were coming from.
And these shots were coming from where?
It seemed to me like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit.
Which would be the echo.
These shots were coming from where?
Like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind.
And where were these shots coming from?
Like the shots were coming from behind the bleachers. It seemed to me the man got hit in the head from behind. He was killed instantly, as far as I could tell. And at that point, state police and a SWAT team, started evacuating the bleachers, and then I helped carry the man out of the bleachers to a tent that was behind.
So an emergency tent that was behind the bleachers. All right, so just for perspective's sake, if I'm Trump, he was sitting here, right? So he would be sitting.
So basically, wounded rally. That's where he's at. Wounded rally attendee.
Yep, and then the
sniper up here.
Yep.
Trump right there.
Yep. So those are the shots that he heard coming from behind him, was the sniper shots, most likely.
Back here.
Yep. So. Yep. So listen, this guy, how in the hell did an assassin shooting at Trump where that line is hit a guy square in the head all the way to the far left of that.
Easy. Easy. Okay, again. Okay, so the shooter's over here, right?
No.
Shots are...
The shooter's dead on, down this way. That's the wood line. He's...
Where?
He's straight
down here?
Yeah.
No. The shooter was over here. If you go look at the maps, if you go on New York Times and you look at where the maps were,
hold on.
That's not where the shooter was.
Hold on, I got
the shooter was for Trump. The shooter was at let's see if he's talking. The shooter was at almost dead 3 o'clock.
Oh.
And so he was, it came from behind where that guy was and where the injury or the death was. I don't know if you have New York Times. I don't have it on my tablet. I have it on my phone.
Hold tight though.
But they have the maps of where the shooter was. So we don't want to dead air this, but Trump assassination.
I think it's important for us to pull it up so we can actually show the orientation of it.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Okay. So look, I've got it.
Yep.
So right here, Trump's here, back. So that's the building where the sniper was, right? Trump's right, 3 o'clock. This is where the crowd all is. The bleachers were behind, set up like this. Okay. So that bleacher where he's sitting and the injury happened was right there.
Hold tight.
So the shooter shoots from here. He hears the shots from behind. You got it?
As we orientate it, pull your screen.
There you go.
Show us back up so I can see it.
Yeah, same thing.
So the three buildings down at the bottom is where the stage was.
Yes.
That circle dot is where the president was shooting from.
Correct.
I mean, where was
speaking,
right.
and he is speaking. Those 3 buildings directly behind him. He is speaking away from that middle building. His back is pointed directly at the grayish building in the middle.
Right.
Okay.
So almost a 90-degree angle.
Right. So the shooter, you see the blue line there.
Yeah. That's the line.
That's where. Right. That's the assassin. So that dirt road between those 3 buildings behind Trump is almost a shoehorn or a horseshoe. Shoehorn is a horseshoe of where the bleachers were. And the guy who got hit and the guy who just interviewed just then were on that far right side, Trump's right, okay, between the shooter and the stage. So if they're there, they're looking at Trump. Trump turns and actually looks almost right at them because Trump's real good about working crowds. You notice he always is moving around looking at different people.
Right. Yeah.
And when he says that, that's when the shot fired. So after the first shot, zings him. Second aim shot, not very good. Third aim shot, not very good. Now, you can say, why didn't anybody else get hit? Dude, we've seen people shoot police from literally 3 feet away, shoot 60 rounds into a vehicle and not hit anybody. Okay. So it's pop, 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 pop.
Right.
Aimed, throw lead down range. And then you hear crack, which was the sniper shooting the other way. You hear 9 shots, 8, one direction, different sound. The 9th is our sniper boy who kills the assassin. Okay. So all of that. And to me, the dude that gets hit and his head is killed instantly from what another doctor who was right next. I don't know. They both said he was right by us, that interview and another guy. Okay. Well, there's,
cat crap from the back. If that was the case, it would have to have come in from the back.
It was. That's the point. Yeah. So they're looking. Think about where they're looking, right? They're looking.
In this video, that sniper is oriented toward the building where the shooter was.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the question there is, Why didn't that guy, A, see the assassin, B, take him out? Keep playing.
See?
Did you see that?
Yeah. He looks
right.
up.
Did you see the bob?
Right.
Did you? Right. So the bob is, to me, he's scanning like he's supposed to, right?
Right.
He's one eye on it. If I see anything,
Up,
and then he hears pop, 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 and he goes, "What the hell was that?" And he looks up both eyes. He goes, "Oh, there he is." Pop.
Right. But see, that lends credence into what that text was saying when he was like, "Oh, I saw the guy for 3 whole minutes. I had my eyes on him."
If that's true,
he's oriented directly at that building.
Well, yeah, because you're a counter sniper. Where do counter snipers aim?
That's my point.
The other high points.
That's what I'm saying, though. So there wasn't a skill fight. There wasn't a skill issue. He was right there on top of it. He saw the dude.
Okay, and I'm not saying he didn't. Let me ask you.
We can say
we don't know.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you a question about that, though. One last kind of question about that. If he had the guy in his sights and he saw him, the second the first shot goes, he's weapons free. He doesn't need authorization at that point, right? So why, if he's tracking that guy and he's got him, he's going, "Hey, I've got a guy. There is a man on this roof with a gun. I need permission to shoot him. Permission denied. Hold your fire." And he's going, "What are you talking? Pop, pop, pop." Why would he go up and down? He's tracked him. He's got him. At that point, he hears pop, pop, and he sees. He's going to see those rounds. He knows instantly that guy. As soon as he's going, "Do it, dude. Do it, dude. Come on. Come on. Take that. Just give me the reason." Pop, pop, pop.
In theory,
he doesn't get 8 shots off.
In theory, that's the right thing. In theory, that's the right thing. So,
Okay. So if he was told, "Don't fire," right? There's one of two possibilities, in my opinion. If he was told not to fire, the one is the conspiracy. Hey, whoever was higher up knew you got to give this kid. Hey, this is a CIA assassination. Let's just call it that. A governmental assassination. This is an assassination approved by somebody in government who said, "You know what? Supreme Court said there's presidential immunity. I'm going to do this for President Biden." Okay.
Yeah.
President Biden, I don't think President Biden was involved. Let's be real clear. But somebody deep state, legitimate, hey, yeah, somebody in the cabal, somebody with the secret handshakes, he's in that position. Or, to me, the second one is somebody who is scared, crapless, of making the wrong decision because I'm going to lose my job if I tell him to shoot. And it turns out that guy wasn't actually going to do anything and it was a threat. And what if I'm wrong? Then I'm going to lose my job. Those are the type, in my opinion, those are the type of people that are running our country. In a lot of circumstances, I hope I didn't just lose KJ. And I want to wait till he's back on to say this last thing, because in the military, and I don't want to repeat myself, guys, but in the military, you see people. Okay, there he is. I didn't want to finish the second thought. In the military, more and more people in senior positions are unwilling to make decisions. They are unwilling or have been told they don't get to decide. That's what I made the joke about talking illegal. So could I see a Secret Service supervisor being told, "Hey, there's this guy," and he goes, well, hold on, wait. We don't know. I'd hate it, because if this goes sideways, no, hold on, don't shoot. I could see that happening. Now, part of that to me is this. What have we seen? Now, used to be Secret Service was like the pinnacle of law enforcement. Secret Service and FBI, right? You want to be the...
Hold up. You want to tangent, because we got to get through these videos. We had a 90-minute hard cap.
Hold on. I got to finish this thought, though. I have to finish this up. Because this is a whole big part of it. we have seen the degradation of the Secret Service over the past 10 years. We've seen people get fired for partying, for falsifying records when they're going downrange to, what was it about 10 years ago where they had to fire like 5 agents because they were going down to Colombia and they were partying with hookers and blow and all that stuff? That is one thing. And then I do think, and yes, somebody on here is going to say, you're saying this because you're a white guy. You, in the federal government, you have quotas, and there are people who get in positions that they cannot do the job. And that happens for white people too. Don't get me wrong. White people, we fail upwards as well. Okay. But there are people that should not be in these jobs. I don't know the Secret Service, the lady who's in charge of the Secret Service agent. She was an agent for like 27 years. She went to PepsiCo. She was the security person there. She got hired to be here. I'm not necessarily saying her. I don't know, but we both, as well as I do, you could probably go through the federal government and find 20 to 30% of people that are incompetent for the level that they're working at. Because I tell you right now, that's the percentage in the military.
Hold tight.
I didn't even notice that. I had no idea. Now those are the ones just guarding the SUV though, right? Waiting for him to get in.
That one was up on the stage with him and escorting him in. The other 2 were guarding the vehicle.
Babysitters of the vehicle. Okay.
Yeah. So
nothing against them. Hey, that can be an important job. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have your shades on, man. That's the rule. Got to put your shades on in an emergency. Got to have your eye pro. I know sergeant majors.
It's funny.
I know sergeant majors who live by that. You got to.
Oh yeah, they absolutely have. All right. Hey, at least they weren't wearing masks. I'll tell you that right now. That makes me feel a little bit better.
We are, let's get into it. All right, so we got another one. This person was inside the Trump administration, and they wanted to talk about some of the things that they noticed, the differences between the event and what happened now. So if I can get it wrong.
You have got.
Let's see. There we go.
Have got
to
be kidding me. Let me say something right now.
Oh my gosh.
Take this to the bank, okay? That person was allowed to scale that roof, okay? I am not some individual who's trying to assess the situation and have never been around the president of the United States. While Trump was in office, okay, was around him a lot. And let me tell you something. The Secret Service, there is no person that can get around the perimeter of the Secret Service where Donald Trump is without them being aware of it. I am not kidding when I say that my husband once almost got shot by the Secret Service because he came down a staircase. I was speaking at the NRA, and he snaked in and came down, and they didn't know who he was. And they were like, freeze, 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 freeze. Like, we will shoot you right now. So you're telling me that guy walked up and was trying to get the attention. The Secret Service saw him, and he's pointing, and he's saying, this guy's got a gun, this guy's got a gun, and they're pretending they don't know what's going on? I mean, am I crazy? Do you guys actually believe this was a failure in intelligence? All of these Secret Service agents crawling around, and you don't think just what that guy said, that is common sense, okay? They're trying to now tell us that common sense is a conspiracy. That is the new thing that they're trying to tell the public. Common sense is a conspiracy. You're telling me this guy was able to walk up with a rifle in his hand and scale a roof, and you don't think the Secret Service, and let me tell you, they get there days before. Let me tell you how a security apparatus is supposed to run. Days before, they get in and they look at every possible angle in which somebody could hurt the president, okay? And I'm not even talking about once you get to the Secret Service. I'm talking about if you just have security in general. Before you speak, they will go, hey, this is the stage? Okay, let me tell you, that right there is a problem. They'll mark that as a spot. That right there is a problem. We need to know who this person is. They'll knock on doors, okay? They got to figure out every possible angle that any individual could potentially get on a roof, because you know what? This has happened in the past. People have been shot from roofs. People have been shot from windows. There is a 0% chance that some random person with a rifle was able to scale a roof, unless there was just an unbelievable failure in intelligence. And you want to know why it's unbelievable? Because I don't effing believe it. I don't believe it. I want the names of the Secret Service agents that allowed this remarkable security failure to go down. Because I don't believe this. I'm done with this. I don't believe this, not for 1 second. Having been around the president, having lit.
Okay, hold tight.
Okay.
I know you're ready. Hold tight. I know you're ready.
No, I'm not going to go off that. I'm going to say this one thing. I'm going to say I'm going to do my best to ignore the messenger.
Fair enough. We'll be back. Check this out.
You see that cop out there to the right, the one with the rifle?
Oh, man, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Dadgummit.
I've seen this somewhere before.
I know.
I'm telling you, the cop was aiming to the right.
It looked that way. I'm trying to find. There's a
nationalism.
That's the last one. I have got to find this one.
Oh no. Oh, excuse me. You haven't shown me that one. Oh my gosh.
That's the one that we were trying to get to but I need to find the video of the photographer, because that's what we're going into next, about the photographer getting into. Nope, not that dude. It didn't download.
Photographer getting into what?
Walking on stage for the picture.
Was he on stage?
Yeah, he literally walked on stage to get the picture, and
Which picture? The fist pump or between the shoes?
No. The one between the shoes.
Oh, that, yeah. I mean, that's a dude saying, "Hey, everybody else is moving, so I'm gonna come forward and take a picture," and complete again security breakdown. The minute that shot's fired, chaos.
That is a bad time. Hold on. That's a horrible.
That
time.
is. And while you're looking, while you're looking at that, I will say this: I've heard people say things like, "Well, why didn't the crowd scatter?" Look at the reaction of the crowd. Well, if you watch the crowd from behind Trump, they all start looking around like, what's going on? What's going on?
I mean, I've heard multiple people say that it was fireworks, and
yeah, exactly. I've heard people say it looked like fireworks. If you're not familiar with what an AR-15 sounds like from 150 yards, it does kind of sound, and I don't believe they've said anything about a suppressor, and suppressors are not movie suppressors, okay? You don't get a sound that goes, poof, 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 and just nothing, right? It goes from 150 decibels to 130 decibels. 130 decibels is still like a jet engine going off, okay? So it's still really, really loud. But if you're not familiar with that, I can see from that distance where you might be confused and go, and with how the stands were set up, from where the shooter was, you're going to get a weird echo there too, because you have the building behind you and you have the front of the other stands. So
fireworks thing, he was just starting to speak, so fireworks at that time would be an extremely awkward moment.
Well, no, and that's the thing. So you're 6 to 7 minutes in. Somebody, look, when you're talking about fireworks, you're talking about firecrackers, right? Somebody being an a-hole and dropping some firecrackers. Okay. I don't remember the Clint Eastwood. Do you remember the Clint Eastwood movie where he was the Secret Service agent trying to protect the president from John Malkovich, who had a epoxy gun? You ever see that movie? Okay. So that's the setup. And at one point, Clint Eastwood has been on different details. He was on the Kennedy. So he's older. This is an early 80s. So he's an older agent who's getting close to retirement. And he'd been on the Kennedy detail when Kennedy died. So he's in the ballroom. He's looking around. He's not feeling well. He's kind of feeling sick, but he's at his post. And a couple of balloon pops. And he goes and says, gun, 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 gun. They jump on the president, get him out. So I've heard people, you're not the only one. I've seen multiple people say, haven't you seen the movie Shooter? Well, I've also seen people react very, very strangely and incorrectly at different sounds. So I can see where I had one where I reacted to a gunshot and the guy threw his up and down. We called the police. We couldn't get a hold of the guy. He said he was up in the shower. It was a house just across the way. Sure, crud sounded like a gunshot to me and my neighbor who was a vet. And across the way on the other side of the house, we went over and they said, did somebody fire a gun? And we were like, yeah, sure sounded like it to me. So, And then he lied. Now, I don't know. I think I think what really happened was I think he had an accidental discharge in his house and he didn't actually want to say anything. But, you know, again, you're talking about people who maybe haven't really heard what an AR-15, even if you fired in your military, you know, an AR-15 or M16 or A4 sounds like right there on the range. It's a very different sound when you're downrange because the sound's just different, right? So I think that there's a big problem with all of this. Okay, so
duration and scale. Hold tight. So this is the video.
You find it,
guys?
Okay.
I want you to watch the bottom of the screen.
So
after the shots ring out, and
oh gosh, you can't make that any bigger.
Shots.
I'm old, dude.
And we're supposed to have Secret Service along with other
8
security.
shots, not 7.
But as soon as he gets shot, you see a photographer rush the stage and literally run right up to and past Trump. I can't even jump on stage or get close to a musician at a concert without getting tackled by a security officer within 1 to 2 seconds. These shots
ring shots
out,
fired.
And this guy that runs by
he goes down.
He goes from
right
to left.
Protect me.
He doesn't get tackled.
Going up the escort. This is the.
I mean, didn't y'all even see the new Trap movie?
Way over to, and he runs over to our left.
And he's walking past all
on the left of the screen.
And he's the murderer. I mean, this is wild. How did nobody?
It's horrible security.
Why? That's absolutely insane.
Because it's horrible security. At that point, they're not worried about that. They're worried about getting the president down, and whoever was the secondary that should have been on the guard. Wait, I do find it back. Hold on.
They're not worried about people coming to the stage.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm real curious with that though. Can we? Do we have anything a wider shot at all from there? Can we see any Secret Service directly before the shot? Is there anybody? Because you would think that there would be right where the Fox banner is, right there. You would think you'd have Secret Service agents, a couple of them in that zone right there, right? So wouldn't that be normal?
No, they're off stage. They're off stage at the base of the stairs. And you
on each side?
Yeah, on each side. So when the first when the first shot runs out, you hear
they go up the stairs.
Get down, and you see it takes them a while to get down. But they're yelling at him. Get down, get down, get down, get down. And then
right. 1, 2, 3, 4 guys. So are we saying the 2 pairs? Because right there. Okay, so there. That's where I say there's nobody in the front. That guy who's that guy is a. What is he?
No, wait. Remember the women I showed you at the vehicle?
Yeah.
Look over the Fox News sign to the left shoulder of the photographer.
I can't.
Yeah. You need your glasses, man.
No, the glasses aren't going to help that much. There
is a female agent at the base of the stairs.
Is that the one that you were saying was one that was over there that
the one that
needed to put on the shades?
Yeah. That is a female agent right there at the base of the stairs. As the guy runs past her, I'll play it a little bit. The guy runs clear past her. So those 2 agents, that's her.
Where is she?
She's still at the base of the stairs facing the president, and he's over her shoulder right now.
Is she? Okay, so she's looking up at the president?
Yeah,
right
she's
there?
at the base of the stairs. She's out of position.
And he snuck up and took pictures.
Over her shoulder.
What did you just say?
She's out of
what?
Position. Yeah, she's absolutely
She's out of position.
Absolutely.
I'm telling you, man, there is incompetence. There is incompetence all over this video. To me, Candace Owens. She says it's unbelievable to have this security error. Okay. She's
not wrong. She's not wrong.
I don't think it's unbelievable, but her alternative is that the deep state, I'm guessing, I didn't hear her say this, but I'll put words in her mouth, and if I'm wrong, she can correct me. Please call in, Candace. We'd love to have you on the show.
There we go.
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh. That would be so much fun to talk to her. It's fun to talk to insane people. Crazy people are the best to talk to. Crazy and drunk people are the best. So her, that what her thoughts are that this is deep state attempted assassination approved by the government, approved by whatever level of the deep state. If former President Trump had been killed, they would have said, well, it was President Biden who, look, SCOTUS just said he's got immunity to do whatever he's got to do. And people have been saying for months that Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you had the chance to go back and shoot Hitler, wouldn't you? Of course. So this is deep state. This goes all the way up to the top. My guess is that's what Candace Owens is making that argument. I agree with some of it though. How dude gets on top of that building? I'd like to know that. Where did he come from before that? Sandy Hook guy drives up in his car to an elementary school. Yeah, it's not that hard. He goes in. This was before Sandy Hook, so the security wasn't there.
Right.
Dude gets into the Uvalde. This former student gets into Florida. Schools, soft targets.
Yeah.
This is a hard target. Not hard end.
Should be the hardest target.
Yes, should be. So, how did that guy get up there? Yeah, that is absolutely a huge question. And I saw an interesting post from one of the Republican congressmen, I believe. I think it's a valid question in some ways, but it's tinfoil hat in other ways. And he says, so the people that investigated the Las Vegas shooting, who quote unquote investigated Russiagate, who investigated the Hunter laptop and said, this is Russian propaganda. Those are the people that are going to be investigating this. And we're supposed to trust the investigation. That, to me, we talk about the rhetoric and the damage of the rhetoric that we have in this kind of political rhetoric that we have. Yeah, I think that's the one I sent you. The erosion of trust in our systems and in the government. And I've said on here, there's not a single federal politician that I would trust to lend lunch money to. And that's probably the bigger problem that we have in our country, is we keep sending people and trusting people that don't deserve our trust. I don't necessarily, I will tell you this from my own point of view, and that this statement may get me in some trouble if it gets reported.
Oh my God.
I don't believe, and this is my own personal, because I am a chaplain in the Army. I don't believe that the chaplain corps cares about me or any other individual chaplain. We're replaceable. As chaplains, we care about each other, but they don't, the corps does not care about me or any of the guys I work with. They worry about the corps. And the corps to them are 06 colonels and above. And you lowly captains and you guys down on the ground actually doing the work, we don't care.
That's the Army. I think I posted something like that about a week or two ago. Talking about no matter how many strategic plans are made in Washington, D.C., the war is won by the private. Nobody cares, right? You're replaceable.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then the private,
another number, you're good.
Yeah, and if you had Private Murphy do what he did these days, he would have been given, he's a private, so he's going to get an Army Achievement Medal. And for those of you who don't know what that is, when you hear people say, oh, he's an Army decorated soldier, he had 3 AAMs. Those are the lowest. Those are Pez candy. I got an AAM for setting up a softball tournament in Kuwait. Okay. You just need somebody puts you in, and the battalion commander goes, "Yeah, okay, no skin off my teeth."
Yeah, low hanging fruit.
Yeah. So, so I look at what the institutions and the corruption of our institutions, the failure of our institutions, and that's why I tend to lean toward this is a failure of the institution and the cogs in the institution that have been allowed to rust and be degraded to the point that some untrained dummy can go and climb up on a roof. I'm still curious how he got on the roof. Was he in the building? Did he sneak up? Did he go up a fire escape? Those are some of the real basic questions I want to know. How did he get on the roof? What was the access, right? And if there was, let's say the only access is from a fire escape, you're telling me you don't close off the fire escape?
Well,
again,
the guy in the video, the eyewitness in the video, said they saw him climbing. They saw him.
What? No. They said scaling the roof. So he's in a bear crawl. So that means he's kind of shimmying up because the roof was angled. So he was kind of keep low and he's shimmying up. That's how I took it. Not he climbed the drain pipe, which, to be fair, would have been pretty impressive to go up 3 stories or 2. I think it's a 3-story building, but
yeah, you're giving him way too much credit. I don't think he was that tactically proficient. I don't either. I don't either at all. That's why it's crazy to me that this dude was up on a roof. That's where with Candace, I actually agree. Like, how in the world? And I've seen kind of the meme already going around. They have a picture, somehow security picture of him, shaggy hair. Well, I mean, if you've seen the death photo, you know what he looks like. I have. And the question is, does this look like the type of guy who can outsmart the Secret Service? Maybe. If this was a deep state action, and I understand your argument that this is a warning to Trump and to Biden to get in line. If that's true, I don't think it was a warning to Trump. I think it was an active assassination attempt. It was a Hinckley, not Hinckley. Hinckley shot Reagan. Why am I blanking on who shot Kennedy? Oswald.
Yeah. Then to me, this is an active Oswald situation where he was allowed to go up. The failure, even worse failure than the Kennedy assassination, because yeah. So, and the CIA, I mean, there's the question of how much was he involved in all that stuff. And it's been 62 years. He was killed in 62 or 63, 62, right? So it's been 62 years.
63.
63. Okay. 61 years. 61 years. And there are still classified documents regarding the assassination of President Clinton in the name of national security. Gee, what could possibly be in those files after 61 years that are national security if he did it on his own? If he was a lone shooter who liked baklava and wait, baklava's Greek, not Russian. Sorry, everybody who's from Greece. Borscht. He liked borscht, and he had a penchant for So he had a penchant for visiting Cuba and the Soviet Union. If we still don't have that information, why in the world do we think we're gonna find out what happened last night? We're not.
I will tell you, President Trump is the willful idiot. But the problem with willful idiots is their ego gets the best of them eventually, and they actually think they're the ones who's calling the shots. And I think we're at that point now to where Trump actually believes he's the one calling the shots. And his handlers had to gently remind him, hey, man, chill out. If you do what I tell you, everything will be fine. I don't have the video of it, and I tried to download it several times, and it will not let me download it.
Okay.
The video that came out August 4th about the CEO of the Heritage Foundation, where he was on the podcast. He was on a podcast, and he openly admitted that, you know, we are in a second revolution. And
yeah. If the left will just let it be a bloodless revolution. Mm-hmm.
I think that is
stupid.
That was more telling, and I think he was kind of smelling himself a little bit, because he was like, we're already winning, and we're going to continue to win as long as everything goes to plan. And I'm like, probably shouldn't say stuff like that.
Oh, no, for sure. That was a stupid thing to say. But my question is, was he being hyperbolic? Was he being over the top? Are we in a second revolution?
I mean, what? The timing of it,
I don't know.
The timing of it doesn't seem right? So you say this 4th of July, Trump has an accident. 10 days later, it's kind of like, because
okay. So you're saying
the wording is very specific, right? The wording and the way he phrased it was very specific, right? When he said this could be bloodless if the left allows it, right? That is very concerning.
What? Okay. So is the implication there? I understand conspiracy theory. This is not you, KJ, having any insight, or even saying that that the Heritage Found president was intending to harm Trump or had prior knowledge. That's not the case. You're talking about potential conspiracy theories, and we're just spouting possibilities.
Yep.
But are you saying that if the Heritage Foundation president said this, theoretically, he was, and we're just asking questions, theoretically, he was saying it because he knew there was going to be an attempt?
I'm just saying it's very, like, if any one of these things would have happened, you know what I'm saying, I'd be like, oh man, that's a weird, that's a weird happenstance. But you had this guy come out and boldly and brazenly say something like that, and then he emphasized the bloodless part, right? If the left allows it. And then you come back and you see 10 days later and you say, well, dang, there were a lot of security lapses that shouldn't have happened. And it's just, I mean, any one point you can sit back and say, okay, hey, that was a bad day. But like, you start putting the pieces of the puzzle together, and you're like, yeah, all of these bad things, like, this has to be the absolute worst 12 days that could possibly happen, if that's the case.
Okay, let me devil's advocate that a little bit. By that, you could see it just as dumb luck, as Biden 5 days ago said we need to put a bullseye on Trump, right? And so here's 5 days later, there's an assassination attempt, and the powers that be went, oh my gosh, Biden said this, now's the time to do it. Okay.
Which was absolutely dumb too.
Yeah, it's a stupid thing to say. Yeah. Especially when, and we've talked about this, when Gabby Giffords got shot in the face by a psychotic, like a psychotic schizophrenic, and the left went back and the media went back and say, oh my gosh, look at what Palin did. She put a target on Gabby Giffords' congressional district along with 12 others, but on Gabby Giffords, and so it's her fault. She's the one who put this in his mind. Complete BS. Just like I think it's stupid to blame Biden for this. Okay, I just don't agree with it. But I will say this. I will say that you have you have to go by that logic and say the Heritage Foundation guy saying that, and then a couple days later, and I'm going conspiracy along those conspiracy lines. Then a couple days later, Trump says, I don't know what 2025 is. I don't have anything to do with that. And now the Heritage Foundation gets on the phone with the powers that be and say, hey, he's not going to go along with it. He's breaking our deal that we had in place. So we need to move on to the next guy. The problem is the next guy is maybe Nikki Haley. I don't know. I don't know how.
It's not like Nikki Haley and DeSantis aren't willing to play ball. Hold on, I want to play this.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
To the left, listen. In spite of all this nonsense from the left, we are going to win. We're in the process of taking this country back, and we are in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. CNN's Kristen Holmes is here. So, Kristen, help us understand.
So that ominous pause. It's almost like movie villain-esque, right? Like when you're writing a story, that's like foreshadowing, right? It's like, yeah, you know, we'd hate for somebody to have, you know, it'd be a tragedy if somebody had an accident. You know what I mean? Like you can't do stuff like that, and then 10 days later, an accident such as this pops up, and then you can't go back. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible to say, all right, well,
yeah. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. Let me ask you a question, and this is a bit of a side point. You're a CNN anchor, right? Mm-hmm. And you're building this story. The producers basically decide what goes on the air, and then they write it up, and then they show it, right? You're a producer, and what they do, we're going to show this clip, and then we're going to turn to somebody else and say, well, Jennifer, what do you think they meant by that? Also, my CNN colleague, who is the Clinton News Network, what do you think? Oh, well, I think that
I've been out for like 2 years, and they haven't been in the Clinton News Network in a while. But yeah,
well, but come on, CNN is left. There's no doubt about that. But they're not as far left as MSNBC. But regardless, here's my point, and this is something that drives me bonkers about journalism today. Drives me bonkers when Fox News does it. Drives me crazy when Glenn Beck does it. It drives me crazy when instead of, I don't know, calling the guy who said it and saying, look, we're going to be running a story with what you said on this interview. It sounds bad. We are going to run a story that points out how bad this sounds. We are going to invite you on to clarify what you said. To me, that's journalism. That's what should happen. I haven't seen the clip, so I don't know that if they said, hey, we reached out to Mr. Smith and invited him on, and he said no.
Steve Bannon's podcast when he did that, doing the interview. It was a whole hour and a half podcast where he kind of went into more detail about how he believes the time is ripe and this election is why Project 2025 is so important or whatever. It was pretty chilling, man. It was straight out of the Bond villain handbook. Not gonna lie to you. It was
So that's where you and I have some difference of opinions on the 2025, because the things I've seen, and don't get me wrong, I know there's things that you can go through and say, well, this scares me, that scares me, and other things that I go, hey, we both agree on these things. There's a lot of stuff. I look at that whole thing as not just a wish list by Heritage Foundation, but in a lot of ways, there are certain things that are very misguided. As a conservative, I don't like some of the things in there. I'm torn. I'm pro-life. I don't want a national ban on abortion, IVF, and birth control. However, if this country is a place where we realize that abortion is killing 600,000 babies every single year, human beings, genetically individual human beings, and we decide as a country that we want to move on from that barbaric situation and change the Constitution, cool. Until then, it's a state's issue. And banning IVF, really? Like, come on, Baptist, you want to ban IVF and help people get pregnant? That's insane to me. Okay. But this guy going onto the podcast, and again, CNN not calling and saying, hey, we'd love you on to clarify because you sounded like a Bond villain, is again, journalism. It's journalism malpractice 30 years ago. It's journalism normal today.
Fair enough.
So, okay. Final thoughts.
Yes.
I hope that I hope that this truly was a lapse of security. I think for the country, that is actually the best case scenario. You can fix that. You can fix Secret Service agents that are bad at their job. You can fix managers at the Secret Service who are not decisive leaders, who are willing to make tough decisions in the moment. You can fix that. You can't fix a government that is so far down the road of allowing a presidential candidate to get murdered, just like it damaged. And that's why I think the Kennedy thing is so important, because we still don't know what happened with Kennedy. And again, there's a reason we don't know what happened with Kennedy. I hope that that's what it is. But at the same time, I also don't trust we're really ever going to know the whole story, because I've been banging the drum for years now about the Vegas shooter and about Epstein. So I don't really trust the FBI. I shouldn't say that. It's not that the FBI won't get the truth. I don't believe we will find out what the truth is. And as American citizens, and maybe that's the best thing in the world, that Trump, I think the assassin wanted to end Trump for whatever reason and stop him from becoming president. I'm going to take out Hitler. I'm going to take out the American Hitler. And ended up handing him the election. Excuse me again. And I think that means that I want Trump to go in and say, you know what? Declassify everything. Open up the FBI files, open up the JFK files, open up everything. If it's not actively within the last 5, maybe 10 years, anything over 10 years old, declassify it.
Couple of things. All of it. One, that is a sure way to get him killed, right? He will die faster than Obama.
I'll sacrifice his life. I'll sacrifice his life for the truth.
Obama. That will get Trump killed faster than Obama approving reparations for Black people. I'm telling you here now. Quick question before I go into my thoughts. Do you think they try to finish the job?
No.
You think it was one and done?
That was their shot. If that was a government inside job, one and done, I would think that more likely, because it was a one and done, they would be more likely to assist the current occupant of the White House passing away in his sleep to make a more viable challenger to President Trump.
Remember the 64 convention in California? Go back and look at what happened in the 64 convention in California. My final.
Wait, are you talking 64 or 68 when LBJ didn't decided not to run?
64, the convention
in California, not the 68 in Chicago. Okay.
This is my final thought. Follow along with us live as we talk all things government. See you next week. See you all next week. That's my final thought. So
hey, and now you know what we need to do? Now we have to go watch what President Trump did in his press conference tonight, because we missed it. Although it's 10 o'clock, I think the press conference was scheduled for 8. It's possible he was 2 hours late.
We might. I can't do that. There we go. All right.
Hey, share this with your friends. Yeah, share it with your friends, guys. We love. Hey, Thaddeus, thanks for being in, and couple of comments if you have more comments later, and whoever's watching right now, if you have comments and jump on. We like to be able to see what you guys are thinking. If we're wrong and you have facts, drop them on us. Let us know. If you have questions, do it.
Bro, come at me, bro. We ready. TikTok, I see you. We ready, TikTok. This week it's going down. I'm coming in back on everybody. So come for the king. You might get your head cut off. I'm letting you know. Baby. We coming at you, right? And we had trust but verify everything, and always believe nothing. Chappie, we got 30 seconds. You ready?
Trump be victory. That's what that stood for, right?
On that note,
I couldn't come up with anything better for the B.
On that note, we're gonna see y'all next week, man.
Trump be victorious.
Let's rock.